it's Nina.
And Ashley, back with the bullshit.
And this is the Young and Gettin It Podcast. Just so you know, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. Just search Young and Gettin It Podcast. There's no G at the end of getting. Subscribe, rate, and review. We're also on YouTube. Just search Young and Gettin It Podcast. Subscribe, comment on there. We're also on SoundCloud.com/YAGI. Please follow us on there, comment, rate, and review. And I was looking through like all the countries and stuff that listened to the past episode, and I was just like, what the fuck? How?
Nigga, right? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, do your part, and then I'm gonna shout them out.
Okay, yeah. And you can also find us on Instagram at YAGI_podcast, or you could go to our website, which is www.weareyagip.com. Or if you would like to hit us up and talk to us, join the conversation, you can hit us up at Ashleyandninapod@gmail.com, or text us or call us on our Google Voice number, which is 323-486-3811.
Yes, let's slay. Okay, so the last 7 days is like still a whole bunch of countries, but not like all the ones I saw. So it's like U.S. obviously is the biggest. New Zealand, Kenya, Vietnam, Mexico, Spain, India, Costa Rica, France, Nigeria, obviously, Egypt, Germany, Morocco, Ireland, Switzerland, Philippines, Islamic Republic of Iran. They probably shouldn't even, aren't even allowed to be on there, and Serbia. I mean, probably more Chinese country than a Middle Eastern country.
Hilarious.
Really holding them back. Back to the bullshit. But yeah, okay. So pop culture. I'm like, I sent you the Wendy Williams article. Like Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter are laying the groundwork for a separation. It's like, Wendy, you waited a really long time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I get it. You don't know people's lives. And
we wasn't all in her business because she wasn't putting her business out there.
Right. And it's like, I mean, from years ago, Charlamagne has always never had anything good to say about her husband. But I mean, he just like revealed it this week. I was kind of surprised because he always like kept his secret. But he was basically saying that like Kevin Hunter has been like threatening him and possibly putting out certain like attacks on him, like hits, not necessarily murder, but like having people, and I was like, oh, that's why you hate him so much, just because like Charlamagne always speaks the truth. Like he's not going to fake it for anybody. The only thing Charlamagne will do is omit. He will not lie. If he lies, it's very like surface level, like if they're joking about like gay shit, because they always do gay jokes on the show. But this nigga will not lie. He will always admit if he doesn't want to talk about it. So he was just saying like he's had hits out on his life and like, you know, but Charlamagne's like, I got God, I'm good, and like, and all this shit. He's had to put multiple like cease and desist or restraining orders against Wendy Williams' husband. Like he said, there's been multiple like law. He's had to get the law involved when it comes to Wendy Williams' husband because he's threatening his life. Yeah, for telling the truth. What the
fuck is good with this nigga?
This is a fake ass nigga, man. Fake niggas
clearly
weird like that. Yeah, and
especially with the way he getting around. Yeah,
it's like nigga, he had a relationship with this woman for so long that she just delivered a baby, like, and it's like Wendy.
I mean, part of me feels like with some of the stuff that we heard about like how relationships go in Hollywood, I'm like, this can all just be an act. Like they could have been doing their own thing, and it's just like, this is a story that got out, and it's just like she could be acting like, oh, I'm the victim, when it's like, nah, bitch, you knew, you probably got your own side, nigga. Like, y'all been fucking other people.
She might have had a whole reason as to why this whole situation was, because her husband's been with this mistress for like almost a decade.
Like, there's no way that you didn't know that.
This is really ooh, the ghetto. You know how they be like, ooh, the ghetto.
The Nene, it wasn't like
the Nene. But yeah, I mean, I really don't care that much about Wendy Williams.
I don't.
It's just, it's just weird how pop culture like pries into normal people's lives. That's just weird in general.
People are obsessed with it. What else?
Oh my God, did I send you the video of, I did, the boyfriend who like beat up his girlfriend because she was breaking up with him?
I didn't get to watch it.
Nigga, this nigga fired on her.
Wait, did you send it to me on Instagram?
I forgot where I sent it to you on. And her daddy came back and beat this nigga's ass.
Good.
Yeah, like Because I was
good.
He honestly did not beat this boy's ass as hard as he should have. He should have really dragged the fuck out this boy.
How old was the little boy?
Like 17 or something. Like
that might be the reason why
it's illegal. Why they videotape it? They shouldn't have videotaped it.
I mean, it's only illegal in like certain instances. Because I remember one time I like called the police because some boys that came to my house.
Oh yeah,
for Brian. And the cop was telling my dad, he was like, just so you know, like if they're on your property and like they're causing you harm, you can do whatever you need to do to protect yourself. So it's like I guess it's like you have to be having harm caused by them, but you just can't be like, oh, I'm gonna beat this little nigga's ass. Yeah, I don't think that's acceptable.
It was like his girlfriend was doing a prank, so she was videotaping it, and then she like just broke up with him, and he said something to her, and she was like, I mean, I don't care. And then this nigga just started going, what? You know how niggas be fighting? How he was hitting her like a man. No. And then she was like, it's a prank, and she's like crying, like with the wall getting hit. She's like, it's a prank. No. She's like, it's a prank. She's like, I was just kidding. And he's like, man, why you play like that, girl? And someone had to come in and be like,
you don't say sorry.
And then it's like, you see this happening, and the girl, whoever else was in the house, was just like, y'all stop. And it's like, no, there's a nigga beating a woman. Even if that's your fucking brother, you need to beat his ass.
Like, y'all stop. Like, nigga, what?
She didn't even come in the room. She just yelled it. She like, stop.
Honestly, she probably used to that shit then, because that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, and then they both posted, like, you know, young people accept terrible behavior. So he posted like, she good, she ain't even got no bruises on her. And then he was like,
no, I'm pretty sure she fucking does. That sounds like
But even if you don't, if you just got lucky enough to not have a bruise showing, does that not mean he didn't just beat your fucking ass?
And like, how is it still not bad? It's definitely still fucking bad.
That's so. And then the girl was like, "It's okay, I'm fine. I'm not even tripping." It's just like NBA YoungBoy and Janaea, and she just had his baby like a couple months ago.
Okay, because why was I just thinking about her? Because I had seen her on Instagram, and she was talking about how like when she was with him, she was like, yeah, like when I was with him and like people would come up and say hi to me, like I always say hi to the girls, but I wouldn't say hi to the boys. Like I would just straight up ignore them. And she was like, I'm not like that. Like, I'm usually a friendly person. But I realized that since it was because I was with him, I wasn't talking to people. And I was just like,
yeah, because this nigga's extremely insecure and he has herpes.
Beat your ass.
Right.
Bitch, what?
You're afraid of getting hit
again.
Nigga.
Of course you ain't talking to no nigga.
I don't like NBA YoungBoy.
Me either.
I'm like, don't. And people like Angela Yee be interviewing him like he has a story, like he's been through some shit. How about you talk about his story and him being through some shit after he learns to stop fucking treating women like shit, and after getting some goddamn therapy for why he feels the way he feels about himself.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we'll have a whole discussion about this later, about the way black men feel about themselves, because that shit just drives me up a wall. Do you have any other pop culture stuff?
I know. Okay, so it's not really pop culture.
Okay,
I was watching. What was I watching? It was like some like commercial. Oh, it came on while I was at my cousin's house. No, we were at the hotel the night before my grandma's funeral. We were at the hotel, and this commercial came on. And it was like, oh yeah, the disease might be Ebola, and like I was just like, why are they like, what's Ebola? So I looked it up. Yeah, do you know what that shit is?
Yeah, the shit where you bleed out all your orifices.
Why? I forgot
what it was. It's been a while because the fucking media just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, and like apparently like there's no vaccine to it. So like once you get Ebola,
you die.
Your body either fights it or you fucking die.
Yeah. Some people died in America, like what,
there was
a year or two ago?
Yeah, and I think it was about the outbreak that happened, and they were like, it might be Ebola. I need you to get back here. And like the commercial was all dramatic. And so I was like, why are they freaking out? And so then I looked it up, and like then I was like, oh, Ashley, you a dumb bitch.
It's like that's how the media things, they make a huge like fear mongering. It's not like it's not real, but it's like they blow it up because it's like, oh my god, if you get it, you will bleed out of your nose and eyes and ears.
You bleed out of all orifices.
That's really terrible
because it's like it does something to the clotting factor in your blood, and then your blood stops clotting. essentially.
That's crazy how if your blood stops clotting, it just starts to pour out of your body. And you know, it comes out of your nose and stuff, which means it's also coming out of your pee hole and your butthole and your vagina, which already bleeds. Yeah. So that's really weird. And then men's coming out of their penis hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't want to think about it because like it probably comes out your ears too.
Yeah, I wonder if it comes out of your sweat pores, like armpits and shit, pubic hair.
I would imagine.
Ew, that's just horrible.
Yeah.
I like God. Like honestly, I really be just walking around. I'd be like, God, it just always could have been worse. It could just always be fucking worse. Oh yeah, fucking on the freeway over here. Yesterday.
Oh, on the 60? What happened? I seen it was fucking stopped and there was like 4 fire trucks.
A fucking dude killed a fucking cop because he was driving drunk. He killed a motorcycle cop. He fucking was driving drunk and hit a cop. And they're saying that's the only person they know is dead. But it's like they don't know if other people were injured or killed. Like the people who told me about it.
Okay, because I saw like yesterday. Where was I going? What was yesterday?
Okay, we're here.
Where was I?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Where did the bitch go? Why was I somewhere? Fuck.
You weren't with your family?
No, because my grandma's funeral.
You were here?
I was out here. I don't know. Bitch went somewhere. Oh, Brian had prom yesterday.
Prom. Did he take some light skinned girl?
He took a Mexican bitch.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
I mean, she cute though. She cute. I mean, and
these Mexicans be infiltrating.
She's nice. No, but like honestly, like she's like one of those girls that don't do shit.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, honestly, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, a bitch who stays at home and likes it. That's what I like.
Yeah, and she be like about her grades and shit. So I was like,
okay, she's accepted. Okay, we'll take you. We'll take you in.
I am cool.
Yep. Bitch, you stay.
And her dress was conservative as fuck,
and still cute,
but it was still cute. So I was like,
do you have pictures?
Yeah, they're on my phone. I can show you right now. Yeah. Off topic real quick.
Sorry guys.
Well, I mean, we were talking about Ebola, whatever. I was just gonna look up some facts on Ebola.
This is really important.
Like, look at her dress.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks nice.
Like she looks plain. Like
oh, they look so cute.
Right? He was smiling so hard.
Ooh, he has a crush on her. At least he likes a smart girl.
Yeah, but she's a little cutie.
Yeah, her dress is
and like,
cute.
of course, like this part, like on her dress, you know how it's like cut.
Yeah, it has a little sheer thing. Yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
So she wasn't hoeing it out.
Yeah, she didn't just have skin out.
But I wasn't gonna try and be mean. There was a bitch there that was pregnant.
Oh, it was like a party. It was like multiple groups.
Yeah, because they took pictures at the Jesse Turner Center, and there was a pregnant girl there.
She had a date at least.
Oh,
she didn't have a date.
She wasn't taking pictures with no dude.
Did she have a dress on? She was going to prom.
She had a prom dress on. And I remember like when I pulled up.
Where's your baby daddy?
When I pulled up, I saw her. And I was like, damn, she fat. Why she got that tight ass dress on? And then I get out the car and I see her, and like I actually focused my eyes and it was a pregnant stomach. And I was just like, oh. I was like, yeah.
I was gonna say something, but I was like, this is just so ignorant. But it's like this is just a personal thing. It's like for me, who just my view on life is so different. I'm like, why? This is so wrong to say. Like, why would you move forward with a pregnancy with no daddy? And maybe like because I'm a Christian, but I'm like, you got pregnant
maybe
though.
Maybe he was coming later. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like,
the pregnant girl's guy is gonna come later.
When the party, I think she was getting on one of the party buses. Like, I don't think you should do that when you're pregnant. Doesn't sound safe. But I don't think I ever saw her with a guy. She was just like with this friend, like this girl that was like her friend.
I'm never gonna tell women to not keep it.
And Dion was there, and so because Gary's sister was going to prom, and so Dion gonna come over to me, and she's like, okay, hold up. I gotta talk shit real quick. She's like, you see this pregnant bitch?
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, my mom and I were just talking about her.
Yeah, it would be different if her baby daddy was her date. Then we'd be like, oh, whatever. Shit fucked up.
Yeah.
But you're alone and pregnant.
Yeah. And
on prom.
And what did I say to Dion? Because I was like, I don't know, she might be ashamed to be here still. And Dion was like, she has on a bright fucking red dress. She was like, she is not embarrassed.
I wish you caught her in a picture.
That would have been fucked up. I did not want to be shady. I'm not that person.
Yeah. That's why as soon as I said it, I was like, that would have been fucked.
You know, the people that be in public and they just do that shit.
She said, what's up with this pregnant bitch? That's hilarious. They're all taking pictures at the same place?
Mm-hmm. At the Jesse Turner Center. Because it's like
That's
that
a nice
park
area,
and it has
yeah.
like the water fountain and shit.
Yeah, it's pretty. And the weather was good too.
I want to read this to you.
Oh, God.
Because
Lord.
I didn't understand it when I was trying to read it, and I just want to know if you know what this means.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. It's from Offset.
All right.
You probably saw it.
No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't?
Good thing.
Okay, all right.
I just have an idea because I just told you about what Cardi B posted, and I was just irritated that she can't just spell
how she can't spell? Okay.
Spell, bitch.
Ignorance is bliss, especially when you have money.
Jesus.
All right, here we go. Every bartender stripper with the dream... Stripper with the dream of getting out of the club. Is nothing wrong with that, but my wife helped guide your life to try to rap all you dumb ass people at home on couch tweeting suck my balls, not talking about established artists like the legends and the ones before Cardi. What's that mean?
Let me see. Now let me see it. Now that I did that.
You see how he spelled legends? This nigga spelled legends Legands. Isn't it Legends? Please tell me I'm not a dumbass too.
No,
it's
spelled
wrong.
it wrong.
Cause I was like, wait a minute.
And it's like two uneducated people got together.
Yeah.
At least that baby's gonna go to private school. She gonna be smarter than her parents.
I pray to God.
Because she gonna be like, damn, my parents speak broken ass English, and she gonna grow up
and like one
Spanish.
of your parents is American.
Yeah, like Spanish, New York, and Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. And we all know Ebonics is a whole different language.
And since Cardi B obviously does whatever her man wants, she moved to Atlanta and got the house, and so it's like her kid's gonna be raised in Atlanta. That kid's gonna be smart though.
Yeah.
Thank God, because Jesus.
Because I was like, what?
Jesus.
Do this mean?
Is it weird that I still don't think they're gonna stay together?
No,
I
don't think so.
They're gonna break up in about 2-3 years.
Yeah, like honestly, I don't know. Like I don't want to wish that on their relationship, but just like
I'm not wishing. I'm just really good at guessing.
But with the way that like their education levels work, I feel like that plays into like part of them staying together. You know,
they don't know how to problem resolution.
Yeah, conflict resolution. Like unless they end up on like couples therapy somehow, some way.
She's too rich for that shit.
Maybe they'll get better.
Everyone on that show is relatively
or
not
just get
financially
private therapy from
Ayan. Oh, oof, don't even get therapy from Ayanna.
She ain't even certified.
Did you see her put that nigga's head in a hole? Nigga, she... Ashley, I was screaming. I was screaming at the TV, and then when the read brought it up, I was like, "Yo, okay, so y'all feel the same way?" Because I was so nigga.
What did she? I need to look it up.
So she basically said, "Oh, you have a lot to say, but you don't want no one to hear it." So she made him go in the backyard, and they dug a hole together, and she's put his head, and he's like trying to just put his mouth over, and she's like, "No, put your head in the hole, and you can tell he's like. Goddamn, fuck.
This dumbass bitch. I signed up to be on this dumbass fucking show.
I'm gonna show you that shit.
Doing shit.
So stupid.
Oh my God.
On your own understanding, but honor God in all thy ways, and He
used to smoke.
I know she went through bankruptcy. I don't know if she did
Her
drugs.
voice just sounds like she smoked. Like maybe like not even cigarettes.
Yeah.
I watched them. I observed them, you know.
This was a good episode, though.
At me. God ain't never gonna forgive me for what I did.
Ooh, what he do?
Get to have sex with his sibling.
My sister.
Oh, okay. This is that guy. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know they were black.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. We need each other, man. That's all.
And before this episode, he hadn't seen the other siblings for like 16 years. Like the whole family was broken up.
may forgive you. Mr. William is unable to speak his truth, which is that he was unable to protect his brothers and sisters as children. This guilt is suffocating him. In order to release him from the weight of this guilt, I must teach him a way to speak the truth buried deep inside his being.
No.
Put your mouth right over that hole. Put your mouth there and speak it in there.
Resisting.
There you go. Come on, speak it in the hole. Speak it in the hole.
I don't understand.
You don't have to understand. Lean not on your own understanding.
Stop pushing my fucking
But
head.
honor God in all thy ways, and he will direct
This seems
your
like a
path.
form of torture.
What if your healing depends on you speaking that craziness into that hole? What if? What if it's just that simple?
But it's not.
What if you don't have to hurt? What if you don't have to understand? What if you don't have to like it? What if you don't have to feel it? What if all you have to do is speak it into that hole?
How much
Would
money
you be
does she
willing to do
make?
that?
She probably balling.
Do it.
Because she got put
your
on by
head down.
Oprah.
Let your head
That's
go.
how she got
Come on.
famous.
Put your head on the earth. Put your head on the earth.
See, you don't
Relax.
put my head on the dirt.
My forehead gonna
Let it
break
go.
out.
Let it go.
I would wash my face so fast.
Speak. Whisper. You don't have to say it out
Now
loud.
I'm breathing in dirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Nah, not my nostrils near that dirt. He said one word and got up. He's like,
Did you speak it?
Yeah, bitch.
So now, we're gonna bury it.
What?
I used to always like blame myself. I should have been a better brother and just.
Following what lead when
Yeah,
the king
you
had
was starved.
abdicated the throne. You didn't even know you was the crown
Definitely
prince.
not your fault at all, bro.
at all.
Some of the hate that you have for those people
Not
was
at
not just for
all.
you. You hate it for your brothers and sisters too. And as the top of this line, you feel
So
responsible
nasty.
for
They
those
would make them
behind
just be
you.
in a train.
Maybe it wasn't
so
for
they could
Mom
eat
to
dinner.
be here today.
Like, what
Maybe you gotta
satisfaction
clean
do
up
you
the
get from
village
that? That's
first.
fucking
Help you
disgusting.
where your mama home.
They're fucking pedophiles. And black kids never get justice.
No.
Okay, also, since we were talking about the spoiler for the Us movie last time, I was like, let me just try to pull out a couple more things.
Okay, because I was talking to my friend about this.
Yeah, like, and what's this? IGN.com, IGN Entertainment. I'm just going to like skim through it, but I just kind of liked a couple of things they said. So the Tethered, which are the Reds people, it's doppelgangers that were abandoned in an experiment commissioned by some unknown group, maybe, and it's like the government, because, you know, as a way to see if the population above ground could be controlled by puppets below, but things did not go as planned. Big surprise for such an outlandish plan. You see, it ended up being the Tethered who were susceptible to being puppeted by their natural born counterparts. The only exception to this dynamic that we know of are Adelaide and Red, because obviously he switched out.
Flip-flop.
And then the Tethered, as imagined by Jordan Peele, draw deeply upon urban legends, speculative fiction, and xenophobic paranoia about the other. The Tethered may be products of government experiments in cloning, but they're also a homage to another urban legend. The Mole People was a nickname given to homeless people who dwell in tunnels, subways, and the like, such as those that Hands Across America aim to help. The Tethered also call to mind the concept of hollow earth civilizations, as well as the subterranean okay, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, okay, but I hear the part now about like the people dwelling in the caves, because in the beginning they did talk about a cave system.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they said there's tunnels under the earth, and majority of them they don't know where they lead to. That was like the opening dialogue at the beginning of the movie.
And you notice whenever they showed the underground, you never saw an ending.
Yeah.
The hallway just went.
It looked like the same thing for forever.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Right? I would not want to be walking around in there. It was too open and too many hallways.
And it was just
Can't
people.
do it.
Like, and the thing is, there's no police, there's no nothing. So imagine how much of a savage you become just living.
Right.
And that's another thing. It's like when there's no like help. Look how savage people become because there's no guidance, you know. That also ties into some shit we're going to talk about later. But Hands Across America was an actual event that happened in 1986. It was inspired by celebrity activism, and this massive undertaking by the organization USA for Africa was meant to raise upwards of 100 million to fight homelessness and hunger by having 6 million people who would pledge $10 or more to participate from a coast-to-coast human chain holding hands from New York to Long Beach, California. Cool, right? Yes, but the event was kind of a bust.
Yeah,
it only
like,
raised.
did they do it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it raised $15 million, roughly the same amount it cost to do the event. So
wow,
they broke even, which is stupid, and was hampered by the fact that America is, home to deserts, mountains, and rivers. Kind of tough for millions of people to hold hands over hundreds of miles of such challenging topography. But at least Hands Across America left us with, something. This
they
film
couldn't just do it figuratively.
I know, right?
Like I feel like that. What the fuck?
They could have just made long chains and make it equidistant, but like break it up and stay on land.
Yeah,
They're fucking stupid. That's dumb.
I guess it's because it's like it's not actually continuous if you do it that way. But it's just like,
oh, true.
My nigga, the Mississippi. What the fuck?
Impossible.
Yeah, y'all, that's the biggest fucking river.
You can't do that. Like, it's not, no. And the film ends in a powerful shot of the tethered hands in hands above ground, showing that the tethered were able to accomplish what their counterparts above ground couldn't. Red showed the world that if given the opportunity to succeed, anybody can rise to the occasion. And it's like the tethered represented like the poor and disenfranchised. And it's like,
yeah,
you see all the like basketball players, football players, people who came from nothing, rappers, and even people who aren't celebrities, like lawyers, doctors, who came from nothing.
They usually have shit stories. Like all the people I know that like became like doctors and lawyers, with the exception of a few, like a lot of them have shit stories, and they're like, I didn't want the same life that my family had.
Yeah, like, and they probably like if their parents weren't the good like support system, they probably had like teachers and shit at school, coaches and shit that like gave them the inspiration that they needed. And I'm like, that's a huge point. It's like we forget about people just because they're poor and live in a shitty neighborhood. It's like, but babies are born into shitty neighborhoods. Does that just determine that they're shitty people? It's like, no, you should be helping them because they could be the next president. But, like Donald Trump said, only black people could live in neighborhoods like this. And it's like, no, we're forced because your fucking great-great-grandfather fucking was part of the people who took us, like what the fuck? IGN also says it really defies the idea beaten into the tether that they have no souls. They just haven't had a fair shot. And it reinforces the metaphor Jordan Peele spent so much of the movie discussing, that suppressing and forgetting about any group of people in our culture is to hold ourselves back, both in terms of growing our community and in terms of keeping our moral fabric strong. I'm like, yeah. We already talked about the Jeremiah 11:11, so it's like, no.
That creepy ass shit. I don't have time.
Oh, this is interesting. One Reddit user's intriguing, albeit problematic theory suggests young Jason Wilson was also switched with a tethered clone early in his childhood. This theory claims the real Jason, living as the tethered named Pluto, actually did learn the magic trick, but his badly burned his face in the process. The theory also points out that Jason was digging tunnels while playing on the beach, not building sand castles as most kids might instead. And as the user says, Jason ultimately realized that his mother at one point had also switched bodies. She gives him a look like, I also know what you know. And then he puts on his mask, a symbol of the mask they now wear for the rest of their lives.
And you know what? And remember how his sister said that he's just he has trouble paying attention, like he's just like a bit different? Maybe he didn't have autism.
But how the fuck did she fucking fuck the father and then have two kids? That's the part where I'm like, how does that did she have to have that?
She got became normal at one point. But it's like she
So she had a non-tethered child and a tethered child? But then the other one, but they're saying the other one's the real him. See? There's
unless she had the kids first, and then at some point the little boy got lured into switching somehow like she did.
Yeah, because that's what they're saying.
Because there were many holes in that movie. Like, there's a lot to be left up to your imagination by the time you get done with it.
They also talk about the rabbits, but yeah, their thing of the rabbits is like they're supposed to be cute on paper. They're adorable, loving animals. Have you ever gotten close to rabbits? Rabbits, you can tell in their eyes they have the brain of like a sociopath. If you put a rabbit brain in a human body, you have Michael Myers, the killer. There's no empathy. Well,
like, who thinks of that though?
That's also a thing.
Like, not.
And they grow up around rabbits, so they might have just not learned empathy.
I mean, they probably didn't learn empathy because they were trapped downstairs forever and everything was savage. Right. Like, I don't think it was just because of the rabbits.
Right. That's kind of crazy. I want to hear more theories. I hope more people come out with more.
Yeah, my friend was telling me to listen to like more like other podcasts because they have like their different takes on it as well. And just like how you were saying her voice was off because she never talked, and I was like, well, I thought it was because she got choked.
Yeah.
Like my friend, she had the same theory as like, well, she never talked and like it never interacted. But I'm like, she knew how to talk before, but like maybe it's because she wasn't doing it often, because none of the other ones could talk. I never realized that. Like they just literally made noises. Yeah. Like there was no like conversation, and she was the only one that can speak. So I was like, yeah, I don't know.
I think Jordan Peele did all this shit on purpose. Like he wanted us to do all this.
Yeah, just like he did with Get Out. Yeah. Like that movie had us fucking thinking. And I remember when I saw it the second time, when I saw Get Out the second time, I noticed more stuff. So I'm like, I still am going to go see Us a second time because I still got to take my cousin. So I'm like, I'm going to see it again to see what I missed. Because apparently her snapping off beat was like the first giveaway sign that she was the tethered, because the tethered are always doing the imitation of what the real one is doing. So if you're doing an imitation, it's coming after. It's not exactly like at the same time. It's like a mirror. Like in the mirror, you low-key move slower than you do in real life. You just don't notice. Crazy. You know? So it's just like her snapping off beat was one of the signs that she was already different. Because every black person was like, bitch, you're not snapping on the 2 and the 4. What's going on?
And then remember who snapped with her? Her son. And he was right with her.
Yes, offbeat.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Weird. Yep. So them niggas may have been switched.
Oh snap.
All right.
Good time for commercial. Yeah.
Cool. Hey everyone, interrupting the conversation very briefly to bring you guys a business that I feel like will be very important in our near future, since black activism is on the rise, you know, and we need this representation out here. So I bring to you guys this business that I found, and it is called Appolition.us. So what this application is for people that cannot afford to make their bail. So the message at the bottom of their website states, defendants are 9 times more likely to plead guilty to misdemeanors due to the inability to post bail, putting them at risk for losing their homes, jobs, and ultimately making them unable to defend themselves. In the spirit of community bail funds, we offer Appolition, a platform where users opt in to automate the savings of their daily spare change to help pay bail for those who cannot afford it. And so this application is primarily aimed at the African American community, but I'm pretty sure that it can be used for everybody else. And if you stand for the Black Lives Movement, I guess you would want to add in too. So the way this application works is you link it to your bank account, you spend like normal, and it deducts the spare change out of your account and puts it into the Appolition fund. So it's much like how Acorns works, but in this instance, you're doing something for others than just for yourself and your personal savings. So it's good to be able to give back without even having to think about it, because this will definitely help people that you won't even know that you're helping, and you'll be doing it just by going out and making your everyday purchases. So you can find them on Appolition.us. It's spelled Appolition.us. And if you would like to contact them for anything, hit them up at hello@Appolition.us. If you'd like any media requests, if you would like to make this more widespread, wide known, you can hit them up at marketing@Appolition.us. Please join in if you can. Please help make a difference, because it's important that we stick together. All right, guys, back to our regularly scheduled program.
Hey guys, we're back. Instead of doing an educational topic, I mean, this is just like a
it's like an educated discussion.
Yeah, what do they call it when people have these type of discussions? Like, not philosophic, but you know, when people like have discussions that aren't surface level, they actually talk about shit that's real. You know,
that shit deep, bro.
That's the only thing I think of is deep, but it's like, it's not necessarily educational, but it's educational.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, rest in peace, Nipsey. Like,
it was literally like right after we finished recording last week.
It happened right after.
Because I remember Rashad and I had gone to Walmart after, and he was like on his phone, and he stopped, and I was like, yo, what's good? And I just heard all these people like screaming on his phone.
Oh shit.
And so he was like, yo, there's like they're saying that Nipsey just got shot. And I was like, what? No. I was like, that shit better not be real. I was like, no, that shit can't be real. And then, like, maybe by the time we went into Walmart and came out, and we were not in there long, they were like, he's dead.
Yep.
I was just like,
yeah. Because I remember it was 5 minutes. He got shot 5 minutes before I clocked in at work. I remember the last episode, I was rushing to work. So my coworker, the other black girl there, she runs up to me and just, I'm working, you know, she grabs my arm because I'm not in front of like guests in the restaurant. She grabs my arm. She's like, and what I hear is Nipsey was just here. And I was like, wait, what, where?
Yeah.
Like, and she was like, no, Nina, you're not hearing me. Nipsey just got killed. And I was like,
yeah.
I literally just grabbed her arm back and was like,
when it happened, I was like, what?
That is off. Like, yeah, people die and, you know, this shit happened. But him?
Even though he used to be a gangbanger, it's like him?
Doing so, like, nigga.
Because it's, okay, so, like, I'm not saying, like, I'm the biggest Nipsey fan ever.
Me neither.
But I totally forgot he performed at UCR. And I remembered after the fact that he did, because there was this I had gotten a marathon shirt. They had threw some in the crowd.
Was I there?
I think you were there because we all had got the shirts. I think it was the day I passed out. Oh, so you had to have been there.
Shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And remember, then I remember in college, like half my college career, I wore that shirt to sleep. Like that was the shirt I slept in. And I remember like Rose Click was my shit at the time. And then Rashad and I were just watching the Breakfast Club interview about Nipsey Hussle. And we had got like halfway through and like it was late. And we were like, oh, well, we'll finish it another day.
Yeah.
And that was like 2 weeks before he passed away. Wow. And I had like just downloaded Victory Lap because like Rashad's actually like a big fan of him. And I remember hearing and I was like, damn, this shit go. And I remember when we were listening to the Breakfast Club, we were like, this nigga's smart as fuck. Like we were like, he's one of them smart ass fucking hood niggas. I was like, this nigga's fucking
he's rare.
Smart.
Rare.
And that's why like I really wanted to pay attention to his Breakfast Club interview because I was like, I'm really trying to see like what he's talking about.
He's just spitting real nigga shit.
But my heart, man, because it was literally the day after my grandma passed, he passed away.
Yeah. Multiple like I've just heard multiple connecting stories of people passing within the past week. Like, so, I mean, my friend, she was just saying it was a shift. And I was like, oh, no, I'm just not surprised. Like,
I'm not here for it.
There was a video of Nipsey, like, young, talking about, like, I need assets and and I was like, damn. And
it's like he always been talking about that. It's just like when he first came out, if you listen to the evolution of his music, because I downloaded all his shit. I was like, I'm about to stream all his shit so that his family could get that money. Like, he was talking about it. It was just like more hood shit was mixed in at first. And then you hear about him rapping about how, like, he had to leave the game so he could get ahead. And so then it's just like after that, that's when that nigga just started talking about ownership, owning shit, like having your own, like on Victory Lap, he said, I own all my masters. Ain't no way I'm gonna be a slave to these crackers. No cracker or like some cracker ass people or something. I'm like, heard it.
I'll take it.
Right?
Yeah. That's so crazy. And it's crazy because obviously like most of us, the first person we thought about was Lauren. We were like, oh no, Lauren, no. We would never want this for you. And
not for anybody.
Right. And she looked so happy in the GQ interview that they did on top of doing the spread that just came out like days before he died.
The asking her 30 questions or like 20 questions.
And the thing is like Kylie Jenner and Travis did the same one and it was
go
like
viral like that.
But it was worlds different. You could tell the relation. Whereas Travis and Kylie, it's like, we just met, we got pregnant, we're together. Where it's like them, it was like, we're best friends. You know, you felt it.
Like, you inspired me.
Yeah. You felt the best friendliness to where he was comfortable saying whatever and she was comfortable saying whatever, but also so elated to be in his presence. And he felt so like he respected her presence so much, you know, like
everybody knew that nigga respected her. And like after he passed, I went back through and I was looking at his page. He posted her so much. Like, almost, it's like post Lauren, post Lauren. Like,
yeah, it's his wife.
So many.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, they never got married, but it's like that was totally his wife. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Like I saw people commenting on like, still this nigga left her as a baby mom. Stop having black women be baby moms. First of all,
you don't know their business.
You don't. And you don't know what she's okay with. Not everybody's fixated on marriage.
Right.
Second of all, this nigga is still not married. He just fucking died. And then third of all, at the end of the day, he's still not fucking coming home. Right. He can't do shit now. So why does it matter to even fucking comment on that?
Them kids, man.
Right?
The baby.
Yes. That baby's like has to be like 3 now.
And it's crazy because if someone said this and I looked and I was like, shit, the baby has Lauren's face and his hair. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh man, Lauren's going to be sick looking that baby in the face.
She's going to be sick just going home.
She actually like, it went in the news, like she passed out. Like she was crying and then she like stood up and her eyes rolled back and she hit her head on a table.
Would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah, I would have passed out.
I've told somebody like
I would have thrown up.
I would not be able to breathe.
Yeah.
Like if I found out that happened, and apparently she was there, right? That's what people were saying.
There.
But I'm like, I don't think she was there. Because the video I saw, like you hear somebody keep asking, where's the kid? Where's the kid? Because I guess he was like with a kid or there was a kid around and somebody's just asking, where's the kid? Where's the kid? And that's the only video I watched. I was like, I am not watching any other videos associated with this, like, because my heart is already heavy.
Yeah, when you lose someone, you feel bricks.
Yes, like
you feel
my
bricks
chest
on
been
your chest.
hurting,
and I'm just like, I don't know. My view on death is so different now that like when I found out he got kicked in the head, I went back to go see it. And then it's like the original surveillance video and what I saw later, I was like, holy shit.
That's why I was like, I didn't want to watch.
You see everything.
Shit. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, it's like, please. I mean, I'm not gonna say don't go and see it because there's people who like shows like my
shit like that.
People who like My Favorite Murder and shit like that like to see that type of shit. But it's just like the thing that made me sad was he didn't die immediately and he was begging the guy not to leave him alone. You see him in the video, you see Nipsey being like, nah bro, please like please, you know, like, and the dude is, and from what I took from it, from what it looked like, while the Nipsey's laying on the floor, this guy's like cussing at him like fuck you, and then, you know, being like, you know, the weirdo ass nigga that he is, like, and then he shoots him in the head and then he kicks him in the head and runs. That's what actually happened. And it was just like, so his friend is like, who survived, was just laying on the floor, maybe playing dead or something, or he got shot pretty severely because he still had a serious like bullet wound, his friend. And so it was just like, first of all, before I even start talking about Eric Holder, that's his name, Eric Holder.
Ooh.
The murderer.
I'm not naming his name.
Yeah, I mean, it's already everywhere. So it's like, yeah, that's his name.
There's no point in repeating it.
What I didn't see in the news that my friend had to tell me was the day after this shit happened, because, you know, the hood knew immediately. The hood knew who did it the moment it happened.
Yeah, there was like a big manhunt going on for him in the hood.
Yeah, and you know what happened? They shot up his girlfriend's house and they killed 2 of his cousins.
I heard about that, yeah.
And when my friend told me, I said, what? And my friend said, this is in the Bible. Like, literally shit like this is in the Bible. Like, when I forgot the exact like context of it, but he was like, when someone hurts or attacks or kills someone that is such a prominent figure, and there's a story like this just in the Bible where they kill a prominent figure and then the town comes back and kills everyone around that person who killed the prominent figure. So I'm sure it's like, I would think the killing them would be like turn yourself in, but the killing them probably would have been like, let me kill your whole family and then I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're gonna make you hurt.
Yeah, they shot up his girlfriend's house. I don't think anyone got shot because they didn't say anyone got shot. Then killed a cousin on the corner and then killed a cousin in the liquor store. So they were literally like, show your face or we're gonna keep killing your family.
Because so Shaw was saying like, it doesn't make sense how he got caught so early. I mean, yes, it does. Like, he couldn't run.
He didn't get caught.
Didn't he turn himself in?
He turned himself in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's saying it didn't make sense for that to happen so fast. But I'm like, no, he knew what was good. Like, there were too many people that were going to get him. Yes. And he's probably like, it's better for me to go to the police. Yeah. Than to go.
He went to a mental institution so he can plead insanity, I'm sure. That's because he's not a smart man, so he just went with what he could go with.
And apparently, didn't he like just get out of jail, weeks prior?
Oh yeah,
like 2 weeks prior.
I did hear that. It's just like that's just the first thing is him, you know, but then him and then everyone on Twitter being like, Bellflower, you should have seen. And everyone who's not from California was like, hey, can you guys help me understand why everyone's freaking out over Bellflower? Like everybody was like, hey guys, we're not from here. Can you, it was a ton of posts like, hey somebody, what's the Bellflower thing? And people were having to go on maps and screenshot. This nigga took a $10 Uber ride. Yes. That's how far he got after killing someone so prominent. Yeah. And everyone's like, and then people from different states were like, oh, it's like going from the Bronx to Manhattan or something. Like people are doing, they're like, oh, like what the fuck, you know? And then it was all the Soulja Boy Bellflower.
I didn't see those ones. I like, because after it happened, I was like, I just need to distance from the internet because I know people are gonna go post videos of it happening, and it's just like I didn't want to see that. And then I saw this tweet, and it was like, you know that feeling you get when you go to somebody's house where somebody just passed away? They were like, that's what LA feels like right now. And I was in LA Friday, and we after my grandma's funeral, we drove by the Marathon store because we were going to go there. Like, let's just buy something real quick. Yeah. It literally felt heavy over there. Yeah. And, like, on every building, it was like, R.I.P. Nipsey, R.I.P. Nipsey.
In spray paint?
Yeah. And then, like, you're walking down the street, all you hear, every car that passes you is playing Nipsey Hussle. Literally everywhere we went, like, if we got out the car and somebody was playing music, that's all we heard.
Even the police were like, there was a police officer who said he read the report and then he was just like, Nipsey Hussle. And he said, then I just had to read it again. He was like, Nipsey Hussle. And he was like, I just had to read it again. Like, I can't believe I'm reading a report that says this is Nipsey Hussle.
And that's why even everybody was like, April Fool's is canceled.
Yeah, I wasn't fucking with April Fool's at all. Barely anybody did. Like, I'm sure people did that little thing, but it was not what it used to be.
My heart couldn't take it. I was like, no,
don't joke with me.
Like, I'm going through too much right now. Like, I can't do it.
I would have catched a hella attitude if someone tried to do any April Fool's shit with me. It's not the time to play. But yeah, it's like the Crips, the Bloods, the police, the Mexicans, everybody is hurt.
And they're showing up and showing out for him, which I definitely fucking appreciate. Because when we went back to the store, the line to get in was around both corners of the store. Like, there was one going in through the back alley, and then there was one coming out on the other side.
It's like, maybe I'll go there when all of this cools down.
You gotta wait for it to cool down, because they had cops out in the front, and like there were hella people lined up just so they could buy stuff and support.
Yeah, he's gonna sell out, which is good. You know, it's like, it's necessary. And then the Nation of Islam came out, and then yesterday the Bloods and Crips and all the gangs came out together. And I was like, that actually was one of my points, because I saw someone post this and it was like, imagine if gangs went back to what they were originally made for.
They were really for protection against the cops. That's all that they were.
White people and people who don't know shit about black culture have no idea that gangs were supposed to be good things, but our mentality was destroyed
because of drugs.
Yeah.
They introduced drugs.
I love Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark. They know, and they just said that on a recent episode. They were talking about the crack epidemic. They're like, well, if the government didn't put it in the black community, I'm like, thank you, white women who understand what's really going on and understand that black people are treated differently. It's like, oh my God, that's why I love them. On top of them having a great podcast, it's like, I'm a real supporter.
They woke as fuck.
Because you give a fuck. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be mad at you for not being an activist and not doing the walk and not doing it. Nigga, at least you are aware and you're taking your podcast, which is more white listeners than black, for sure. Yeah. And you're saying shit like that. And multiple times on multiple episodes saying this happened because they're black. This happened because they're black.
Or this got attention because it was a blonde white girl.
Right. Oh my gosh.
They really do a great job of like calling people out for that.
Yeah.
But like on the topic of like how the Bloods and Crips came together and formed like a treaty, like, and I reposted and I was like, I pray this is real and I hope that this remains real. Like, we started talking about the black community, like, what can we do to like improve ourselves and stay improved? Like, what is the solution to us and gang violence? Like, how do we get a handle on that?
That's step one right there. It's just, the thing is that whoever was able to bring the power together to where all these gangs were able to go out
was one of them,
and not like, but I mean, he killed people, ended up getting
he was like one of the, he was, but he was like the original.
Yeah, it's just like, if whoever, you see that these gangs came together and no one got shot. It's like whoever brought that power, even if it's Nipsey, it's like there were people in between making it happen. It's like, you guys need to talk to these gang members and make it a thing where it's like, you guys need to stop killing each other. We need to stop killing each other.
Because that's what it is all the time. Every time it's over some dumb shit.
But the thing that sucks is it's also over like drugs and you're in my area and
you're in my territory.
You're in my territory.
Okay, just watch what's that shit? It's the story of like with Pablo Escobar, but it's not his story. It's like the cartel in Mexico and how like all the weed dealers formed like an organization and they started working together instead of like working separately and killing each other. They just all came up with something that worked for everybody and then they all worked together to do their drug dealing. Like, let's just do that if you're gonna deal drugs, because like are people realistically ever going to stop dealing drugs? No. We just have to find a way to do it so that people don't fucking die over it. Because like a lot of the time people get shot up, it's because of drugs, even dealing guns, which that shit needs to be fucking handled. Like if we have more gun control, like who's to say if that situation would have gone any different? Because like when New Zealand had that shooting of that mosque, like
they shut that shit
weeks
down
ago, they had gun control laws within hours in place. And look at us over here. We have Los Angeles is like one of the highest murder capitals, and I read an article where they're saying the rate of killings was just going down. Like, it was at 14 a week. And they said that was low. That's a high ass number
for other places.
Like I understand Los Angeles is big, but 14 murders
a week. That's a lot of deaths.
What
are
we doing? So times 14 times 4. What is that shit? I'm not good at math. Let me see. 14 times 4. That's 56. 56 killings in a month.
56, and then times that by 12. Jesus.
That's 672 murders.
672 dead bodies in Los Angeles, and that's just murder.
And they're most likely brown people. Either they're Mexican or they're black. Because that's like the highest concentration of people in Los Angeles. So it's just like we really have to find a way to come to better conflict resolution when dealing with one another. Like it cannot just straight up lead to violence. Like, and I feel like black people are always taught that, like, be violent first and then apologize if your violence was not correct later. Yeah. It's never like, oh, I don't like the way this went down. Let's like talk about it and try and figure it out. It's always like, bruh, come catch this fade. Right. Like we have seen that through life, and we still see it in life because some of these niggas, these dumb niggas out here are still pulling up to people's houses on live to fight.
That's so
like,
true.
We still see those videos today.
Unfortunate.
So it's like, we got into the discussion of like, is it the system that's the problem, or is it just us as a people that's the problem? Like, how much do you blame on the system, and then how much do you blame on us?
And it's funny because I had this discussion with a friend who's also black, and he blames us. Like, he won't give 100% us. He'll say, it's part of it's the system. Whereas I'm like, the system is the majority and black people are a small part of it. And because I get both sides. I think that racism and white supremacy is what put us here because they planned to put us here, and they're mad because they actually expected us to be doing worse, and we're doing better than what they expected. And it's like, they're gonna let a couple black people get rich, they're gonna let a couple white people get poor just to keep the narrative that everything's normal. But it's like, if white supremacists and racists and all that stuff didn't do all the stuff to put us in this position, we wouldn't be here. It's just like fucking Us movie. This is the same situation where it's like, you don't have nourishment because you're eating rabbits, so you guys are sick, you guys are having cancer, you're having all these. And Dr. Sebi, what Dr. Sebi preaches is the opposite of what black people eat in the hood. It's literally the opposite, which one is life and one is death. And then it's like, these people who could be great people, just like the people we see now that grew up in poverty that could have been great because they had something. We don't know if it was just them or if they had some sort of influence. It's the same thing. It's like, disadvantaged people sometimes just need a mentor. Like, they need someone to help them. Like, even having this discussion with friends who like have kids and they want to motivate their kids to like do more, do better. It's like, it sucks. Like, obviously you want this person to be self-motivated, obviously. And some of us are, we really are self-motivated, but it's like, you can't just expect everyone else to be self-motivated. There's people who aren't self-motivated that could become that way once they learn how to be a better self, you know? And so it kind of sucks because I feel like white people, racism, supremacy put them in this position, but then there's the black people who don't want to educate themselves, or the black people who
they're
never
satisfied with how it is.
Yeah, but think about it, like someone who grows up without Christianity but never learns about God. Is it their fault?
No.
And so
to some extent, because you could always read a book,
right?
You could always be curious.
Yeah, so it's like depending on the situation, right? So it's the same situation with this disadvantaged kid. Like, what if they never knew anything better? They only knew this to be what's possible. I remember I told you that girl on Scared Straight when they said it's normal. It's not normal to go to jail, and she was like, normal. What do you mean? And they're like, it's not normal to go to jail. She's like, well, everyone I know has been in jail, and they're like, you're not supposed to go to jail.
You're supposed to avoid it.
Yeah, she had like no
ignorance type thing.
Yeah, ignorance. Like, and the thing is, nigger means ignorant, doesn't it? And so it's like they literally gave us the name of what they wanted us to be. So they wanted us to be the ignorant, you know. That's why they called us a nigger, and they wanted to keep us that way. And it's like, if someone like Eric Holder, if someone gave someone like what's the definition?
Just means black. It's the Spanish adaptation of Negro, and it means
Oh, is that why they say Negro?
Yeah, but it's still like an ethnic slur.
It means ignorant.
Yeah,
because I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah, Urban Dictionary.
A word that offends blacks, but should only offend blacks that fit the description of it. The reason why non-nigger blacks get offended is because they hate to be associated with their racist bad apples, not because of whatever slavery-related nonsense that other people confuse it with. Okay, what person wrote this?
A white person.
Just how non-redneck whites, okay, so you were white, hate to be called as such. Everyone, including whites, can agree that there's a huge difference between blacks and niggers. First of all, don't call me black. I don't like that shit.
I hate when people say blacks.
Please don't.
You mean a black person?
Don't say blacks. Don't say colored. Don't say colored person.
Why do people say blacks? That is so wrong.
You know what? If you are not black, do not refer to my race. Because
I
honestly do not. I don't like how anybody says black that's not black.
I feel like everyone who's not black should say African American.
And I don't even like how they say that though.
Yeah.
They be having that tone. Don't say nothing about my race.
Okay.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Just why? Because it's like, why you even need to say anything?
Yeah.
What's the purpose?
I can see that. I'm sure there are some people who scrub that shit out of their language.
Yeah.
You know,
learn how.
They're sensitive. It's like, it's just such a negative connotation. And this Eric Holder, specifically talking about him, he's someone who was non-motivated. He's someone who was not educated. He's someone who did not believe in himself. He was a local rapper who was not getting hot. He was a known snitch and a hater. He was but fundamentally, this is someone who has low self-esteem. This is someone who just doesn't love himself and is so mad at anyone who is doing better than himself. And that's why, unfortunately, when I watched the video, it just looked like he took those last moments to be like, you know, like not necessarily saying, ha ha, nigga, but it was the connotation behind whatever he was saying in those moments was that, like, I'm better than you for once. I'm above you for once. You're begging me for once. I felt that. And then the problem is, like, I saw the court hearing because, you know, they post everything on Shade Room, and this boy had like no remorse in his eyes. I feel like the only reason he turned himself in is because his family members were like, nigga, they're killing us. For you. Yeah, like they're about to, and you know they're probably gonna kill his mama eventually.
Oh, somebody else is gonna die, sadly. Like
they were gonna get his whole family. Like
I hope it doesn't come to that, because it's honestly not gonna bring Nipsey back. Because it's at this point, nothing we do will bring him back. It's just like you have to try and lead the vision that he was seeing, because the vision he had was great for everybody. Because he said, like, in one of his songs, like, I showed my niggas how to fish. He said some of them passed me up and got richer, but I never hated on them. I just like basically did my own thing and just kept grinding, because he's like, I know my time would come. Yeah, because it's that same thing Jay-Z preaches. It's like, if everybody else is broke around you, then you're not rich. Like, if you're only saving yourself,
like in that J. Cole song, too. Yeah,
you're not rich. Like, you have to make sure everybody around you is
good. Yeah.
And another thing I have seen that Nipsey said is just like, if the people around you don't inspire you, those aren't friends, and you're not in like a safe place. I'm exploiting your son, but you're in a cage. Yeah. And like, that's why Nina and I say, like, you have to pick and choose who you surround yourself by.
Right.
Like, I may have a lot of associates, but I only have a few people that I call my friends. Right. Because it's just like, we all have to make sure that we're motivating each other. Yeah. And so.
And it's crazy to see that quote. I did see the inspiration quote, and I was like, I thought about my circle for a second, and I was like,
we good.
Gucci.
We good. Because I was like, a few months ago, I was like, damn, I don't really have a lot of friends. Like,
and the funny thing is, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I'm like, but you know what? I kind of like it that way, because the friends that I have are like, I like dealing with them, so it's like, it's cool.
I like dealing with them.
You know? Yeah, because it's a business transaction. Let's not be fake here. Like, everything at the end of the day comes down to that. Even relationships, business transaction. It's just the type of business that you're carrying out. So it's just like, you don't want any sour business still, so make sure you're watching who's around you. Yeah. And so, like, when you were talking about Eric Holder, I remembered how we started talking about how the Black parent household. And so in my family, all my grandmas was like single mothers at some point, and then they had multiple baby daddies. Like, none of my uncles, and like, well, a few of them might have the same dad, but the rest of them don't. Like, so it's just like, they came from multiple parents and, well, multiple fathers, and they're in this single parent household. It's just like, some of these people grew up to not be shit, some of my uncles, and some of them turned out to be shit. So it's just like, it does come back down to the household too. It's just like, how are you raising your Black kids? How are you raising your Black sons? How are you raising your Black daughters? Like, how are you teaching them how to go out into this world? Because it's like, if you don't have a foundation, ain't shit about to really pop off for you, unless you are some miraculous, dedicated individual that just has that God put something in you. Yeah. You have to be anointed at this point.
Yeah. And freaking, I listened to an episode of Brilliant Idiots, and this guy named Wayno was on there, and he said, like, Black boys grow up watching Black men disrespect and not love their Black mothers. So then why would they grow up and then turn around and love a Black woman? You know, and I was like, yeah, there are Black men who turn around and love Black women. Yeah. But I didn't like that shit. I have definitely seen cases where Black men like are super in love with their mom, and I'm never going to let no nigga fuck with my mom. And they treat women like shit. And it's because it's like, all they care about is protecting their mom. They don't actually give a fuck about women. Like, they just are just like, I don't want my mother.
It's just that it's biased.
Yeah, like, I just want my mother to not get hurt.
Their love is biased.
Yeah, so it's just, it's the upbringing where it's like, this guy, he probably grew up in an upbringing where no one made him finish his homework. No one made him join a sport. No one, he was on the street with niggas who had him selling drugs, and he was mad at Nipsey because Nipsey was a rapper who didn't care about listening to his music, and then he was like, a known snitch.
He was probably just rapping about bitches and drugs. Like.
Yeah, and he probably sucked, and it's like, and you can't be mad. Like, it's crazy. I feel bad that you can't decide how you're gonna die.
No,
and I feel bad that just Nipsey being like, nah, bro, get out of here, ended his life.
Yeah, but in like a lot of his songs, now that I've been listening to him like in heavy rotation, he talks about dying a lot. And it's niggas, always them niggas that be talking about dying a lot. Yeah. The power of the tongue. He as much as he talked about like the inspirational stuff, like he talked about dying like a third of that time. Cause like there's a song on his new album where he's like, I could have got shot. And then there's another one like, I accepted the fact that I could live or die in this game, but I'm living with that. And I'm just like, okay. And that brings chills.
Yeah.
Like,
it just sucks being him in that moment, realizing like,
this is it. Like, this is how I go. Like, him
over this pussy ass dude that I asked to leave my store. Yeah. That's it. He was chilling outside the store, leaning on his car, and I was like, nigga, you are a celebrity. And this is why Cardi B, even when she was barely famous, had like security. You gotta have security.
Protect your neck. Like,
and it's over with when it comes to acting like a normal person. Once you're famous, like even people who like just hilarious, who is just getting famous, she's pissing people off, getting canceled, she's crossing into where it's like, I see her without security and I get uncomfortable a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, not everyone knows who you are, but it's like, you're crossing over to where people want to hurt you. Charlemagne the God, after getting attacked in the street.
Oh yeah, like when those people were like,
can I get a drop?
Yeah, and they tried to punch him, suck him out.
And they said, I forgot the exact words, but it's kind of like you have to be non-detectable. Like now you need to be invisible. You need to be, when you go to places, people don't know where you are.
Like that.
Yeah,
I just don't understand it. Like
it sucks.
It just pisses me off that there are people that are like that they're that envious that they go to these extremes instead of doing better.
In his hearing, Eric did not look remorseful. He actually looked more like surprised, like, oh my God, like I'm really famous. Like a lot
That's
of people.
why I'm like, I'm not trying to like talk about this nigga.
Yeah,
I don't want to give him any more notoriety.
He just kept like looking out to the side, and I was like, that has to be where all the cameras are. Like he just, the whole shit was happening up there, and he was just like,
he doesn't care.
Like no remorse. He's in solitary, so he's like, I ain't finna die. But it's like,
shit,
you forget that
somebody gonna get you.
Y'all forget that CEOs aren't always the best people. And in good and bad ways. So I'm like, what a CEO is going to do is find a way to get some prisoners to your cell. That's what the fuck they're going to do. Once all this is said and done and they find out who was all a part of it, because they let the driver, the girl, they let her go because she said she had no idea. But I'm like, this nigga's breathing hard. People like, because my friend was like, but he had a gun. I was
he
like,
would have had
niggas
blood splatter on him.
I mean, it depends. But yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah,
it all depends, because he was really close when he shot them, you know. So it's like, and it looks like he actually like walked away and then like came back, and it's like, I wish he just walked away, came back, because it might have been life and death, the choice, you know, like decision. But
right.
he just was just empty of like, and I was just like, this just looks like the dumb nigga like that he is. He didn't even just try to square up and fight because he knew he was gonna get his ass whooped. That's the thing about guns. It's like a pussy thing. It's different if a nigga pulls a gun on you and you pull a gun on him. This nigga's chilling on his car talking about bullshit with his friends. You walk up with a gun and just start shooting because this nigga told you, get out of my store, get out of my store that I own.
I was just watching American Horror Story, and like in one of the beginning episodes, this dude gets embarrassed and he's walking out of like the city council hearing he had gone to, and like he whispers something under his breath, and the guy's like, what'd you say? And this is after he embarrassed the fuck out of him, right? And the guy turns around, he's like, there's nothing more dangerous than an embarrassed man. And he turns around and he leaves. Ooh. So like I was like, oh,
ooh, you gonna make
that
some
is
phone
the
calls.
Truth, because a man's pride and his ego,
that toxic masculinity,
that will make a whole bunch of shit go down different once it's broken. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm trying to pray heavily because like LA feels heavy. Like,
yeah, I haven't felt
it.
Safe
just don't feel right.
I don't remember where the point happened. I don't know if it was when Donald Trump became president, but there was a point where I just stopped feeling as safe as I typically did. Yeah. When you realize the different things, bullshit that people can do, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like I was just telling you, like I've been more and more anxious lately, like just going out in public places, because it's like you could get blown up any second. You can get shot any second. Like that is not a fear that I want to have when I'm going out just trying to go to the grocery store.
We live close to Vegas in California. We've been to Vegas like 20-30 times.
We live close to that terrorist attack that happened in San Bernardino, and that was at a fucking school.
And then I'm walking through the mall with my ex-boyfriend, and he says hi to a dude, and we walk off, and he's like, that's one of the girls who died's brother. And I'm like, shit. Fuck. Like, what?
It's just when that shit hits close to home, like it hits different. Like,
yeah.
The fact that he died on a corner that I've driven past before, and it's like right down the street from my grandmother's house, like, I don't like it.
It's sad. But I brought up Vegas just because it's like we go there so many times and that nigga comes and fucking shoots 500 people.
And it's like that could have easily been a weekend we could have been there.
Easily. I was going the next weekend. I had plans to go, and I said, let's cut all plans. Like,
but then we went like a month
before.
No, we went a month before, and we stayed in Mandalay Bay.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and then after that's when the
was
shooting
in Mandalay
happened.
Bay shooting out the window. It's like when shit is that close to home. It's just, and so many things. It's just so many things. Like always so close to home.
Stress. That's why I'm like, I just gotta pray.
I just want to stay home. I'm about to buy Simply Safe. Like that's gonna be our commercial break next week. But I'm just gonna plug it this week. Like I'm getting Simply Safe when I get my apartment. You can put it on every window, every door, and you can have shit monitoring your house on your phone.
All the time.
You can answer your doorbell without being at your door. door, which is like, yes,
we needs that.
I need that. I need to not be home and be able to be like, who the fuck at my door?
Right.
Because then you can see who's just peeping, because people peep your house and shit like that. Yeah, people will
check your house out. Like, so unrelated, but I was listening to My Favorite Murder, and this family was staying in this rinky-dink hotel, and they had a peeping Tom incident one year, but then they went back and stayed there again, and like they looked at the peephole
and it was
the next time
around.
and it was turned around back.
Fuck yeah.
So that the person could look in.
That's so disgusting.
Yeah.
So he has a clear view watching you guys, and they said like it was like multiple rooms had the shit turned around. I think like they said like 8 rooms or something had the shit.
Yeah, it was turned around.
That's horrifying. Or just like the stories on that same show podcast where it's like they open a blind and there's someone like right there. That is horrifying.
Yes.
Bitch, I'd be really like, damn, do I need a gun? Because
Nigga,
I don't know
like,
if a taser is going to do shit for me.
Can I get security?
Yeah. That's what's like, man, I need to save because I'm about to live in an expensive ass apartment with that. Because you know that bullshit security, they be on their cell phone and they be taking naps. And it's like, I need niggas who are walking around like that meme of that Armenian dude who walks in the building like, have you seen that meme? Oh, that shit went completely viral because it's like, he's somebody's bodyguard. He just walks in just like his face is kind of just like, who the fuck are all of y'all? Fuck you.
Is in here?
Like literally his face is like, fuck you. You know, like he's really ready to kill everybody in the room. Like, don't fuck with my nigga, man. Like, and that shit went viral because the camera just like really focused on like, this nigga is scary. Like, I need that walking around my fucking apartment complex because.
But we also need Black people to get better.
And it's like the power of the tongue. So every day, or very frequently, not every day, but maybe every other day, I do say things like, I'm going to live a very long life. I'm going to live a very long, healthy, happy life. I say those things all the time just because I'm seeing the power of the tongue. Because people talking about death all the time. I'm like, no, nothing's going to happen to me. God got me. The devil ain't shit.
Because you really attract that energy if you think about it.
Yes. Like,
whew, Jesus.
Yeah, this shit is just, you know, and I just pray for that freaking family, man. I feel so bad. The funeral's at the Staples Center.
I know, on Thursday. Keep the fucking album on repeat, y'all, because he definitely owned the masters to all his shit.
He gets paid for it.
So all that money will go to his family. And I've been checking the charts to make sure people are like actually doing what they say they are. And his entire album is at the top of iTunes charts. So I'm like, yes. Like when I'm not on my computer, I just play that shit. Yeah. I'll just leave it here, turn it down, play it all day. Yeah. Because that's what needs to happen for him.
And it's like, especially like people like me and the turning it down, because it's hard to listen to that shit.
My
it's emotional.
Heart breaks every single time.
I walked into a bar 2 days ago and all they were playing with Nipsey, and I was just like,
and isn't this like the first celebrity where it's like, I can really cry about this? Like, this is the first celebrity death where I'm like, I'm hurt. Oh shit.
He was trying to help Eric Holders. He was trying to help the very man who killed him. That's crazy. Yeah. And this boy is this is the thing. He knew how unintelligent these men were, which is why he was trying to educate them. And then one of the unintelligent ones slipped through and took him. Yeah. You know, he didn't take him. You know, he was just he was the person who ended his life, unfortunately. Yeah, he was the bridge to the end of his life. Yeah. He didn't take shit. You know, so it's that's why it's like, it's so, you know, people who if you plug your phone in at night, if you don't, you know, it's a different story. But if you plug your phone in at night, put Nipsey on, put it on low, and then go to sleep. I did that just because we're paying his family. You probably only pay if you got a student account on Apple Music.
And nobody cares if you weren't a fan before. Be a fan now. Yeah, because you still help.
That's what I'm saying. I barely listened to his music before because I barely listen to music. I listen to podcasts, but still, like, this is going to pay for his kids. And it's like, I know they're rich and she's new and it don't matter. They lost a parent. This little boy is not even going to remember his father.
There's going to be emptiness their entire lives.
Yeah,
like,
that little
least
girl.
we can do is give them money.
Remember she
was a grown baby.
He had a daughter.
Was like 8. She's like 8.
And it's like, yeah, Lauren's probably like, you feel mom with her and you have your real mom, but it's like, no,
she was probably there. Like,
you know, the issues kids go. Like, in all honesty, I would have rather gone through death at my age now than as a kid. Yeah, because you don't fucking understand shit.
Yeah, no.
Like, and plus, when you're older, you have more time with the person. When you're fucking 8. Like, damn, you know, like you're just gonna be lost, and then it's like all the therapy that's needed, and I feel
that's
so
what I was
bad.
saying. I pray they go to therapy. They have to.
You could tell Lauren was like, I found my soulmate.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
And all these disrespectful people just doing stupid shit on the internet just really bothers me. But yeah, like, rest in peace, Nip. This is a good time for a look at God. Do you have one?
Yeah. Look at God. Like, my grandma's like service was beautiful as fuck. Like, I saw stained glass windows for like the first time in real life. I don't know why I had never seen them, or I didn't remember seeing them.
Yeah.
Because now I think about it, I think there's some at Shaw's Church, but like the hall that they had it in, it was like called the I don't remember. It's at that big ass cemetery in LA. I'm sure y'all know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of Inglewood. But I think it's called Inglewood Park Cemetery. But they had like beautiful like stained glass windows and shit. Like, and it was very beautiful. They did like a very beautiful slideshow for my grandmother. And then the service was just like beautiful. My dad made everybody except Christ, which is like totally expected of him, which was hilarious. And then after like I hung out with my family, and like my family, like they all live like far. Like majority of my cousins live in the Bay, or they live in San Diego. So like I got to see all my cousins, and we got to hang out, and that shit was fun. Like it's always fun when we're all together.
Yeah.
So like it was a good weekend, and I turned my work phone off because I was like, fuck that shit. I was on call too, and I just turned it off. I didn't tell anybody anything. I just turned it off because I was like, I need this time. Like, I literally don't want to be thinking about work right now.
Yeah.
So I turned that shit off. So it's a beautiful thing. I still need to turn it back on, but we'll get around to it.
Emoji.
Yep.
Me and Ashley use this emoji a lot.
It literally explains life right now. Oh, and then like another thing, like I just like be realizing every week how blessed I am. Like it's beautiful. Like even though like depression makes you feel like everything is horrible, like when you have those split seconds when like you're able to like get out of the mindset, you're like, damn, a bitch is popping. And so it's just like I'm learning how to reclaim like I don't want to say it's pride, but like being proud, you know, like of like who you are and what you have accomplished and like what you're doing. So like, yeah, beautiful things are happening.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I said it before we started recording, the same thing where I was like, you kind of just like, when you can take the moment to be like, dang, I am blessed. Like it could be so much worse. Like, and you see it every day. If you really pay attention, it could be so much worse. And like, I always say like, I'm going to live a long, healthy, happy life. And the power of the tongue, you know? So it's like, I'm going to live a great life. I'm going to live a long life. I'm going to live, you know, I'm going to have a great health. I'm going to live a happy life, you know, like stuff like that. And it's like, that's very true. It's like, I really just feel blessed. It just could be so much worse, and everyone has problems. So when you realize everyone has problems, and you could realize that you're actually doing well. And for those people who like aren't doing well, I'm gonna put quotes on that because that's all relative. Like find pathways in life that can put you in a better place. Because the thing is that people fall into their depression. I understand that mental illness and stuff like that makes it harder, but that's where you can talk to your psychiatrist or your psychologist or a therapist and try to find ways. Because it's like, a lot of the ways that I made my life better, I didn't even realize I was doing it because I was too young. And that was going to college. It put me in a financial position that I've never been in. You know, like, and that's the thing. It's like, we ain't balling. No. I remember having $7 period in my bank account in college. So it's like, thank God, you know, like I am doing well. Like I remember when I started serving for the first time as a waitress, and it was like, oh my God, I made $100, you know? Hand. Yeah. And it's like, this is $100 to anybody is at our age is like, okay. But it's like, wow, you know, like
gonna go far.
It made a big difference. So it's like, if you feel like you're not blessed, find ways to be blessed, or just look around and really think about how you were blessed, and not think about how it could have been worse. Just think about how you've been blessed. So
think
like,
about how it could be better. Like your thoughts drive a lot of how your life is led. So just think about how things can be better. Like, because if you think about where you were like a year ago and where you are now, it could be better or it could be worse. But it depends on like the mindset that you have. Are you gonna let it stay like this, or are you gonna let it get better than this moment here?
Right.
Because, you know, everybody says everything is temporary. I don't believe that everything is temporary. It's just that some things are temporary and some things can become permanent if you make them that way.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like, not everything is temporary if you don't make it that way. But if you make it that way, everything is temporary. Like my state right now, temporary. Is it going to get better? Yeah. Because I know what it is. Like there is no bone in my body that has any doubt against that.
And this is just how life goes. Things, good things happen, bad things happen, good things happen. So it's just like, now that I have that understanding, you know, I'm just like, when bad things happen, I'm like, it's just regular course of life. We're just going. Like,
exactly.
You know, and I think that one thing that I do is try to find ways that I can work on myself, and that ties into me being like, find ways to make your life better. So I'll say like, what are qualities in myself that are not up to par? It's like, so it's like, okay, what else could I do to be more humble? What else could I do to not catch an attitude? Like, you know, like what I'm trying to think of other stuff. What else can I do to stop spending money?
Yes.
You know, like what else and I've already, you know, and these things that I talk about I've already worked on, but how can I get better? So when it comes to not spending money, it's like, still shop at Fashion Nova. I probably will never, because I kind of look at that website as, when I was broke you gave me clothes, and now that I have money I can buy double. You know, like that's just like that. It's like it's sacred to me. I finally bought something off a Pretty Little Thing, so we'll see how that shit goes.
Is the shit.
Yeah, let's
I
see
love their clothes.
See how that dress comes when it comes in. Because if it's flat, I'm gonna be like, oh man.
That's all it took. I took like bought one thing from them on ASOS. So I was like, oh, I'm a whole new bitch now.
Yeah. So it's like, that's when it comes to saving money. When it comes to being more humble, is more of how you respond to things, or more how you can accept what you have now and not always be striving for the next thing, because that also brings depression. It's like always wanting the next thing, always wanting the next thing. I actually reeled back and have become comfortable with what I have, because I've understood how every step in my life has brought me to a better place. Even just how my mental health, how I deal with relationships with men. Like, I'm grateful for all of my experiences, because it helped me be better in all of these things, you know, even catching an attitude. Now, just don't say nothing. Like we said on that one episode, I will literally
keep my mouth shut.
I was at work, and like, there's sometimes extra receipts print out, so you can just crumble it. And I'm still there, like fumbling, you know, getting my shit together. So the guy squeezes in to use the computer. That's fine. But then he like takes the stuff I had and throws it in the trash. He's like, there's a trash can right there. And it's like, in my head, I'm like, little does he know I'm still standing here only because I'm about to throw this away once I put my paper in my book. But he wanted to be smart and just went ahead. And so I said nothing and just kept going. And it's like, I could have had that whole explanation, him like, you know,
I don't waste my air.
You know, and my coworker sent me a rude message at work. And instead of me snapping, I just went over and I was like, your email was really rude. And he was like, oh, I know, I did that. And when people do that, I'm like,
people be pussy in real life. Them emails be coming off real
people
strong.
be pussy in real life. So I, like, when he said his whole explanation, I really was like, no. And then I just walked to my that's all I did. I said, because I was just like, he's lying. You know, in my head, it's like, you're lying. You could be a boss nigga and just fed, because ain't nobody gonna approach me and I'm gonna back down. It just won't happen. No. The only person who's gonna approach me and back down is someone who's like a super superior, because you need to keep your job. But other than, and that rarely happens. So it's like, other than that, nah, I'm gonna keep it real. So I just went over and, you know, I'll talk to someone else instead of being like, because he was really, I was like, oh boy, you tried it and you suck at your job. So
right? People be, and you reminded me, people talk crazy to me at work all the time, and I'm just like, okay, all right. Glad you wasted your energy, because I'm not.
That's really us, like,
okay, honey. Like, there's times to pop off and there's times to not.
Yeah.
And then, like, a look at God, I forgot. I just had the first car rental of my car.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm skeptical. Like, I get my bitch back on Tuesday, but I'm like, it's more money than what I had.
Right,
so,
right.
like, we're going to accept that. Like, I'm trying to see if I like the process, because it was kind of like a lot, because I had to drop my car off and then I was without a car until I got back to my other one. So I was just like, we gotta work out like all the logistics of it.
I wish it was like the bird scooter where someone comes to get your car.
Yeah, just come get this bitch. I think I'm gonna change it, because I had my things where like I would drop it off. I'm gonna change it. Like, no, if you want it, you gotta come get it.
But you want people to know where you live, or you probably just pull into the shopping center.
I would take it to a parking ride and then unlock it for them from my phone. Like, nah. because it's easier that way.
That's actually much smarter and much safer. But my only other look at God is like, oh my God, I got hired as a summer school teacher substitute still, and my certification finally went through, which is great. The reason why this is great, not just because like, oh, I'm gonna be a substitute, that's a normal thing, is because for my teaching certification program, that was a huge prerequisite. So instead of taking classes during the fall semester, I'll become a full-time teacher during the fall semester. Hopefully in biology, I'm gonna take my test in about 4 weeks. So I gotta study that shit.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
I just saw that and I was like, oh, we doing real biology.
So we doing science.
We doing real science. Okay. I think I gotta be in this class. Like, so I mean that's good. It's just that I can make more money. And it's not money to spend. It's literally me being like, so I need to save that. Yep. I have a goal of like how much you need to make per month. And then I have a goal of like, once you reach this date, how much cash you need to have, So it's like just trying to reach those.
I was looking over like some goals that I had written down for 2019, like before it, like maybe right when we got into 2019, I looked at it and like I had already almost reached one of them.
Oh yeah.
And like, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like at all. I wasn't even thinking about it. And I looked and I was just like, okay,
yeah.
bitch. And so you know what I did? I changed it. I made it harder.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, you almost there. And we only, 4 months in?
Yeah.
Nah, bitch. Let's make it harder.
Yeah.
Grind harder. Save harder.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that.
Yeah. Be broke. It's nice. It's so nice
broke.
to have money and be broke, because when these emergencies come, nigga, you're like, oh, what? Okay. So, emergency over? All right. This is the point. Like, this is literally the point behind all of this shit. Every week I'm like, I ain't got no goddamn money that I can spend.
What you talking about? I am fucking poor.
And then when they're like, oh, you know, I've had my car for a while, so they're like, you do need 4 new tires. I'm like, oh, okay. I ain't buying it from y'all. Dealership trying to charge me goddamn $1,100.
Hell no.
You better fuck out of here, nigga.
Like, fortunately, I think my Mercedes is covered because I added that shit.
Oh,
on.
so it's like a kind of like a prepay for lower.
They do my brakes and my tires. Hook a bitch. Oh.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, we need tires? Okay.
I remember the last time I had to do that for my Volkswagen. They were like, yeah, you need 3 new tires and an alignment. And I was just like, what?
Damn.
Like, why y'all gotta rub my pockets like that?
Why are you gotta do me like? I went to the dealership like, man, I'm about to spend money. They were like, actually, you don't need anything done. You just need tires. I was like, oh, so I can take my car right now? They were like, yeah.
Don't you be so happy?
Hopped in the shit, drove to work. I was about to take their little bus to my job. I was like, oh, I'm taking my car. Shit. Okay. Them tires will get changed when I'm ready.
All right.
Because you know how they be trying to change it a little early. It's
like, as long as they not bald.
Yeah, as long as I ain't slipping. Like, we straight.
It don't even rain out here like that.
Mm-hmm. But just so you know, you can find us on Apple Podcasts. Just search Young and Gettin Podcast. There's no G at the end of Gettin. Subscribe, rate, and review. We're also on SoundCloud.com/YAGIP. Follow us on there and comment, and make sure you watch these episodes right here on YouTube. And you know, on people listening, you're gonna be like, right here, what? I'm talking to the camera. So you need to even get I'm looking at the people listening. You need to get on the motherfucking YouTube and watch us on there and subscribe and comment on there. We're also on Spotify. Just search Young and Gettin Podcast. You're going to put an apostrophe at the end of the gettin', but there ain't no G because we still slanging it out. Subscribe on there also. We're also on Pocket Cast. We're also on Stitcher. We're also on everything. You know, we're on every podcasting platform, period.
Okay. And you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at YAGI_podcast, or on Facebook at facebook.com/YAGIPOD. And then if you would like to see everything that we have to offer, go to our website, which is www.weareyagip.com. And then if you would like to join the conversation, there are 2 ways you can do it outside of our social medias, which is our email, which is Ashleyandninapod@gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on our Google Voice number, which is 323-486-3811. Thank you for listening. R.I.P. to my granny and Nipsey.
Yes.
I'll be non-sad one day, but right now I'm sad. But it's okay.
It's okay.
Life goes forward, because all that you could do is literally move forward in every single fucking situation ever.
Exactly. Stay positive. Do what you can. Stay healthy mentally and physically and socially. Shit.
Yes.
You know, just.
And be good to people.
Right. I almost said amen, like the end of the show. Well, amen.
Good. No, that's a prayer in itself.
Right.
Be good to people.
Means I believe.
Please.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.